If we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything. We'll show them.
These shoes are from Steve Madden and they're so cute. They were only 40 bucks and they're super comfy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Easter while I am filming this, so I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. It'll probably be after Easter when you guys watch this. Today I kind of wanted to talk about the whole mentality of cheat meals and untracked meals, especially for someone that is into fitness and health, or if you're on prep versus when you're not on prep, and how I kind of go about holidays and like family outings as far as my mindset and what I actually choose to eat. So I wanted to go over that today. I've gotten a lot of questions. Someone on Instagram asked me like if I've had cravings since I've been on prep and how I deal with them, and how I'm going about today. So I just kind of wanted to kind of talk about that with you guys very casually. I'm literally just sitting on the floor of my room before my family gets here and before we eat. So I'll kind of show you guys some of the traditional Greek food that we make for Easter, and how I am fitting that kind of in my macros. And it's kind of a cheat meal, I guess. I have a weird relationship with the word cheat meal. I call it a cheat meal, but I don't really think of it as a cheat meal. It's more of a untracked treat. I don't know, that's I guess what I think of it. But I'll go more into that in a minute. So today, or yesterday, I am sitting at 10 weeks out from my first competition. As you guys have seen in my last vlogs, I am working with my coach, Hannah Osmond, and she has been great so far. We haven't made any like super drastic cuts in my macros, but it is a little bit noticeable, and I am on a pretty structured meal plan. I like structure. I guess I call it a structured, flexible meal plan, because if I want something else, I will make it fit my macros or swap out maybe sweet potato for rice or chicken for fish. I'll make swaps like that, but it's a very clean food. I know what I eat on a daily basis. I'm not playing this guessing game with macros in my fitness pal. Like I pretty much know if I just like ate my set meals, I'd be hitting my macros, which I really like. So it gives me the flexibility that if I did want to have a different food or a different protein source or something like that, I can make a swap. And that's how I make it flexible, but it is still a meal plan in the sense that it is planned out for convenience. So yeah, it's been super easy so far. I've just been meal prepping when I come home on the weekends to work and then taking my food back up to school, and that's been working great so far. And I'm gonna continue doing that. So yeah, let's talk about cheat meals. So the term cheat meal, I think of it as like you're on a set diet, or you know, you have a goal and you're eating something that is like off your plan or that you consider unclean or unhealthy, and you're just gonna eat it and be like, okay, whatever, it's a cheat meal. It doesn't really have any structure or planning towards it. It can be kind of whatever. So there's also the term refeed, which you'll hear a lot in bodybuilding, and that is a little bit more structured. It's like a planned overfeeding or a planned higher number of calories, usually carbs, for the day. So a refeed is just a little bit more structured. So you can eat completely healthy and have a refeed day. It's usually when you've been in a calorie deficit for a while and your body's starting to like adapt to that and show signs of fatigue, and maybe you're kind of hitting a plateau, your weight's not moving. A refeed can be really beneficial to kind of help kickstart your metabolism again. And I'm not a scientist, so I probably won't explain things absolutely thoroughly. So I'll link some really good articles and videos for sources down below so you guys can learn a little bit more about like the scientific reasoning behind why a refeed might be beneficial. But the difference between, I think, a cheat and a refeed is a little bit more structured. You know your set macros, you're still hitting your macros, and it's not like I'm just gonna go order a burger and sweet potato fries and a shake and it's a cheat meal. A refeed's not really a cheat meal. It is a structured, higher number of calories. Okay, then you could also have an untracked meal. And an untracked meal is simply if you're someone that's used to counting your macros and tracking all your food or calories in like MyFitnessPal, or an app like that. An untracked meal would literally just be, okay, I'm just gonna eat this food and relax about it and eat intuitively and not track it. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a cheat. It doesn't mean you ordered something unhealthy. Unhealthy, like what is unhealthy really, you know? So it's not like you ordered something like fried or like a dessert or a burger and you just like ate it like whatever, I'm just gonna mess up. I mean, untracked meal I think is just more of a mental break, and that's kind of what I'm gonna be talking about. I do utilize them a lot now that I'm in prep, not so much, but when I was, you know, like in my off season. I guess off season, I'm not like haven't competed yet, but I would still consider what I was before an off season. So when I wasn't preparing for anything specific, I would use untracked meals all the time or estimate my macros a lot. And that worked for me. It was a great way to maintain my weight, maintain what I was doing, but not feel overly structured or not feel too much pressure. And I think that is a great method for a lot of people that are just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So if you want to go out to Chipotle and order like a chicken salad with guac and salsa, that's not unhealthy. It's just, I mean, if you just don't track it or if you just estimate your macros, that is not unhealthy. But when you're on prep, you just have to be so on point. And like every little bite you put in your mouth, those macros are going to affect your physique, because when you are making changes with your coach, you need to eliminate as many variables as possible. That's why consistency is so important. So if you're not prepping for a show and you're just trying to like, even if you're trying to lose weight, but you're not prepping for a set deadline, it is totally okay to have those untracked meals, because I feel like it keeps you sane. If you're just a normal person trying to live a healthy lifestyle, you do not need to track everything to the gram. That is for a specific reason. And I feel like if you're not in prep and you're not bodybuilding, there's no reason to be that OCD about your macros. Like that's when I feel like it turns into an eating disorder, and I have been there, and there's like no reason to be that obsessive over your food and macros if you were not doing bodybuilding. Now that I've had that time to, like, I've experienced that, I've experienced eating intuitively, like I don't have any, I don't know, I guess guilt with food anymore. So I have no desire to go off my plan right now on prep at all. So there's not even that like back and forth in my head, like, should I have this cake? Should I not? Like, oh my gosh, I'll feel guilty if I eat it. I'm just like, okay, it's cake. I can have it if I want to, but I don't want to because I want to look good on that stage more than anything. So I think it's knowing your why you're being strict or knowing your why you're not being strict. You have to have a why for everything you do, because if you're just like, oh my gosh, like I can't have cake because I don't want to get fat, there's no reason. Like besides your own internal belief that eating that cake is going to make you fat, which it's really not. If you were to do it, you know, every single day, maybe. And when you are a physique competitor, like everything makes a difference. You know, when you're checking in with your coach every week and you did have one piece of cake, like who knows, that could make you hold on to a pound. So not that cake is going to make you gain a whole pound, but your body will hold on to water depending on, you know, certain foods that you eat. So that's when it gets down to the nitty gritty. So we kind of went over cheat meals, untracked meals, refeeds, and when I kind of think about it, I think a cheat meal can kind of have a negative connotation for some people. Some people it doesn't. So if you want to call it a cheat meal, call it a cheat meal. If you want to call it a treat meal, call it a treat meal. Call it whatever the heck you want, as long as you have a healthy relationship with it and it's not something that's going to make you feel guilty, or as soon as you have one bite, you're like, well, I already messed up on my diet, I may as well eat it all. And I feel like a lot of people do have that mentality. They'll go out for a cheat meal, they'll get home, and they'll be like, you know what? Screw it. I already messed up, so I'm just gonna eat everything in the pantry. I've been there before. I haven't had that problem in a long time, so I can totally control myself, being like, okay, this is my cheat meal. I'm gonna go have a burger, come home, have protein shake before bed, and I am good. Like, that's all I need to feel satisfied. Now, there are some days where I'm just like super tired, and maybe I wanna do a refeed, where I'm like, you know what? I still want to eat really clean today because eating clean makes me feel good. I'm just going to have more calories so I have more energy. That's fine too. So they all have their time and place, and you just have to know what you want and what your goals are and what makes you feel the best. I hope this video is not too over the place, and I hope you guys know what I'm saying. So I'm going to kind of talk about what my plan for today is. So I am 10 weeks out, like I said. This morning, I got up, I had my normal breakfast, and I decided to just impulsively have a couple homemade cookies, which I probably shouldn't have because I really wanted cake later. So I went into my MyFitnessPal, I plugged in my breakfast, I plugged in the cookies, I plugged in basically what I think I'm gonna have at dinner. I'm not gonna use my food scale in front of my family for Easter dinner, but I put in estimates and I put in a piece of cake, and I made that pretty much fit my macros. I will go over my fat a little bit, but I'm actually still under on my carbs. Now, usually a refeed, you want to be higher carb, a little bit lower fat, but I still am going to be in a calorie deficit today. So that's how I'm going about it. the foods that we're having aren't my normal refeed or cheat meal foods, but I am gonna make it somewhat fit my macros and not go overboard. It was really funny actually. I put the cookies I had this morning on my Instagram story, and I sent my coach my check-ins, and she sent me an email back and was like, P.S. stay away from the cookies in your coffee. And I was like, oh crap, she saw that. But in my head, I know I didn't have a cheat meal yesterday, so I can enjoy today with my family, and I'm just gonna go about it in the most balanced way possible while still staying on track. I'm drinking a ton of water today. At dinner, I'm gonna have lamb, vegetables, salad, and maybe some potatoes. So for like a traditional Greek dinner, we have lamb, and then we'll have feta cheese and olives on the side usually, which I'm not gonna have that to save some fat. We'll have a Greek salad with dressing. I'm gonna skip the dressing to save fat there. And we usually have potatoes, green beans, and carrots. So I fit a serving of potatoes into my carbs, and they're literally just like baked potatoes. They're not fried or mashed potatoes or anything like that. I'm gonna have green beans and maybe a little bit of carrots. Like I said, skip the cheese and the olives, which I love, but gotta sacrifice some things when you're on prep. So I feel like that is not that unhealthy. It's a meat, some carbs, and some vegetables, like pretty healthy. Now my mom has like the best carrot cake in the world, and I look forward to it every year. So even though I'm on prep, I'm still 10 weeks out. I fit it in my macros. I don't see anything wrong with it. I fit a small piece of cake into my macros today. I don't really think that's a cheat meal, but like I said, I don't know exactly if it fits my macros, but I estimate it. And I think as long as you're being mindful, that's completely different than being like, you know, I'm just gonna eat whatever the heck I want today. And you know what, I'm gonna eat a big piece of cake. You know what, I'm gonna go back for seconds. Well, I already messed up. I may as well eat 3 pieces. That's when it turns into a binge, because you have an unhealthy mindset with having something off your plan, or you think just because this food is bad or it's sugar, it's gonna store as fat. That's not always true. Our bodies are so complex. Your body can handle a piece of cake, especially if you fit in your macros. Your body can handle a piece of cake. So tomorrow I'm gonna get right back on track. I'm probably gonna be a little bit bloated tomorrow just because the food's like higher in sodium and sugar and this and that, but I still stayed pretty close to my macros, and that's what's gonna make the difference. So tomorrow, get right back on with my normal meals. Gonna do my fasted cardio, my lift, drink tons of water, and I'll be fine. And I have nothing to worry about. So that's kind of my mindset on cheat meals. I hope you guys enjoyed it and enjoy the rest of the video.
Hello, and I'm feeling fly. It's not with the sunny sky. We laugh out like every night. We can do what we want to. We roll with the windows down. Meet up with the boys in town. We go out around and around, young and free, no place to be. Hey, we go where we want to. Hey, it's right when it's our crew. Hey, we play it like our rules. It's our life. We go on every night, stay up till the sunlight sings.
Okay, that is gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that kind of helped you if you are struggling with when to have a cheat meal, when to have a refeed, or if you're, you know, struggling when you do have one, if you feel guilty. And food and guilt are two things that should never be associated together unless, like I said, you are prepping for a competition and you know you went way off track and you made that conscious decision. Wow, I can't talk. And you made that conscious decision to sabotage yourself. Then yeah, you can feel guilty. But if you are just the normal person that is trying to live a healthy lifestyle, living a healthy lifestyle does not mean you eat healthy 100% of the time. It does not mean you never have a piece of cake or you never have a burger at all. Being healthy incorporates so many things, and so many things go into being healthy. Like what you eat is just one of them. And as long as you are eating good, whole, nutrient-dense foods most of the time, you can have some treats here and there and still be healthy. It is just for bodybuilding where you have to be a little bit more extreme because your sport literally relies on how you look on stage. So I hope you guys are having a good day and are staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I hate you, I love you, I hate that